my internal refrain has shifted from I can't because da 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 to he looked at me just with sorrow in his eyes and he said, "Oh man, yeah, that's assault." I think this is one of the most empowering things that I've learned. November 26th, 2023. That is the last date that has a red X marked on the calendar that lives on my fridge. I had a system for tracking my days, and well, that was it. A red X on the calendar. And it has now been 6 months since that day. I wish that there was a video like this when I was going through what I was going through. I think it would have shortened my depression significantly. But hindsight is 2020, and now I have hindsight, and so I am going to share that with you. I hope that it helps. Let's talk about first, what were the stressors, the things that made my postpartum depression worse, and in conglomeration, I think are the things that caused my postpartum depression. And then after that, we will talk about what helped. So what hurt and what helped. So let's get into it. I think one of the hardest things for me postpartum was money troubles. The all-time high of my family's life savings was the day that I gave birth. It was all downhill from there. It had taken our entire marriage to get to the point that we were the day I gave birth, savings-wise. And within 2 years of having our beautiful baby girl, it was all gone. I mean, it was so stressful, just hemorrhaging money all the time. I felt like we were trying so hard for so long to keep our expenses low, and it wasn't working. I felt so defeated. Along the same vein as money problems, overwhelm. I truly believe that part of our money issues was that I was trying to do too much. I was trying to manage the finances. I was trying to do all the cooking, all of the cleaning, all of the home maintenance, the meal planning, the grocery lists, the social outings, planning those things, maintaining the flower beds, doing volunteer work, and just trying to do all of these things at the same time when I was adjusting to being a new mother. It was way too much. This next one is quite heavy, and so if you have past negative experiences with SA, then skip to this timestamp. If you are just wanting to completely skip this portion, I totally understand. I'll give you a second to do that if you do need to skip. But with that said, it gives you a little peek of what I'm about to talk about. So if you're still here, I was assaulted. I was assaulted when I gave birth. So when I was pregnant, I made my birth preferences known. I even had a little printout of my birth preferences and I gave it to my doctor. I gave it to my nurses because I had read online that that's the thing to do. And then delivery day came. Things went okay. They weren't super smooth, but I don't think most deliveries are super smooth. Things went roughly how I expected they would. I had an epidural, and so then I was holding my baby about 30 minutes after giving birth to her, just, trying to love on that baby. I mean, I had a few other things going on too. I was throwing up a lot, but after that, I was holding my baby, trying to start nursing her, and I felt an incredible, intense pain, down there. And I thought to myself, this isn't normal. Something is not right. I had asked my provider directly after the delivery, did I tear? And she had said yes, and she told me what degree and all that. But I could tell that this was not that. Feeling this excruciating pain coming on and getting more intense by the moment, I look at the nurse next to me and I said, did they give me an episiotomy? And she just looked at me and she said, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. They did." And just the grief that went through me in that moment, I cannot explain it. I went from feeling so elated, in pain, but elated from having my child to just I felt like I'd been shot through the heart. I really did. I just felt so violated. My doctor, without a conversation and against my express wishes, when my baby was not in danger, any sort of danger at all through any of this period of time, there was no need for me to deliver faster. Only reason why I might have needed to deliver faster was because it was Christmas Day. It was 2 a.m. on Christmas Day. But I think the worst part about it is that she lied to my face. I think she knew she made a mistake. And so she lied to my face when I asked her if I had torn and told me, oh, yeah, you tore. Here's the degree to which you. No. She cut me. She cut me. And then she lied to me about it. I did confront her later on. I think I had an 8-week appointment because at my 6th week I still wasn't healed up. Long story. She cut me and I got infected and all. It was awful. Anyway, not the point. But I did confront her and I said, why did you give me an episiotomy? And she said, oh, nobody wants an episiotomy. And I said, oh, but do you just give people episiotomies even when they've expressly asked you not to? Is that your procedure here? And she was pretty speechless after that. As one would be. But I, of course, was completely done with her after that, and I went to see another OB. Not only did he tell me that episiotomies should never be done, which is what I had read from the Mayo Clinic, which most people will recognize as an authority on these matters. And that's why it was on my birth preferences, because it makes healing time worse, increases infection risk. There's just a lot of things associated with it that are negative, and I didn't want it. And I did get infected, so, I was trying to save myself grief, and it grinds my gears. But I told him what had happened to me. I told this new OB my story, and he looked at me just with sorrow in his eyes, and he said, oh man, yeah, that's assault. Which is what my mind and heart had said. It's what I've been feeling, that I had been assaulted. But for a medical professional to say, oh yeah, what happened to you is assault, and it wasn't medically necessary, so that it was just, she was in a hurry. And honestly, I know for certainty that being violated like that was the beginning of my postpartum depression, was the day that I gave birth, because I was so vulnerable and I trusted my provider. Okay, on to the next one. Lack of help. Now, I know that this is a common one, okay? Especially, I think, in America. We live in such an individualist society. We're not really all interconnected like some cultures, or perhaps like previous generations really once were. On top of these things, my child was born in the midst of the pandemic still. It wasn't officially over yet, I wasn't allowed to have unlimited people at the hospital and stuff because of it. All of my close family members, all of them work. There's not a single person in the family who is retired. There's not a single person in the family who is a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home grandma, or none of it. On top of that, me and my husband have never been in a position where we can afford to sustainably pay for hired help. I feel like all of this together, it's enough said. It was all on me, and I really don't think that we're designed to take care of children all by ourselves day in and day out. That kind of isolation it's very difficult on the mind, and it's difficult on the body when you have a newborn. In the same vein, being difficult on the mind and the body, sleep deprivation. This was one of the worst parts of it for me, I think, with the postpartum depression. My postpartum depression started easing so much once my child started sleeping through the night, but she only started sleeping through the night when she was 1.5 years old, and even then it was 1 out of every 3 nights. Now she sleeps through the night all the time, and that's awesome. And when she was a baby, up until she was 1.5 years old, she was up 5 to 7 times every single night. There was a 3-week stretch when she was 3 or 4 months old where she slept through the night. But the rest of her entire life, a year and a half, she was up 5 to 7 times a night. So I got almost no sleep because I'm an insomniac. And I think my next video might even be about insomnia. So look out for it. Because of my insomnia, I have a very difficult time falling asleep. And so every single time my child would wake up through the night, it would take me a while to get back to sleep. Sometimes it would take me 2 whole hours to get back to sleep. So I would sleep for like 10 minutes and then my baby would be up again. At minimum, bare minimum, it took me like 30 to 45 minutes to fall back asleep. And so being woken up that many times, I never got a REM cycle. And you need those. I need those. We all need the REM cycles, okay? It's very essential for our mental health. And then, okay, so when you're that tired too, you're easily stressed out. And so I would get so stressed out about not being able to sleep. And that would keep me from sleeping. And so, I mean, yeah, it was cyclical. It was bad. It was bad. This next one is on me. A lot of these things have been out of my control, but this one is a personal issue that I have been working on, but it's perfectionism. Yeah, those who know me know that I am a bit of a perfectionist. Maybe saying a bit of is even an understatement. I like things perfect. I like them pretty. I like things clean. I like things orderly. It's the way I've always been ever since I was a small kid. I love my schedule. I love my daily rhythm. And with a baby around, it's not sustainable to try to keep things perfectly clean and orderly and keep your schedule the way that you wanted it. And because of being a perfectionist, I was always trying to get so much done during the day. You know, like productivity is my drug. And with a new baby around, you just can't do that. You got to let go of it. And I had such a hard time letting go of being quote unquote productive, of quote unquote getting stuff done. Like I was getting stuff done, it just didn't look like it because I was like, all my energy was going towards keeping a baby alive. It's kind of in the same vein of I was trying to do too much, but really I was trying to do too much because I was expecting so much of myself and it wasn't realistic. Constant interruptions. If you've never had a child, you have no idea how much you will miss that sense of flow in your life. And maybe some kids aren't like mine. I've seen some kids who you can like set them down and they'll just like stay still. She needed constant entertainment from me or there would be tears for almost like 2 years. Like she's just now gotten to the point where she can kind of play by herself a little bit when she's at home. So basically my entire day revolves completely around her. No problem with that, right? Sometimes that's just the way it's got to be and that's fine. But I just constantly felt like I was fumbling around, right? Like I didn't feel like I had a good handle on things at all. It took me an entire year to get any sense of flow back in my life where I could kind of like time things between the naps and the feedings and, you know, all her snacks and her baths and just where I could get stuff done in those little windows and know roughly how much time I had to get stuff done so I wasn't surprised by the interruptions. I didn't have a sense for it, you know, it takes time to get a sense for it. It's almost like a dance, you know, it's a dance that doesn't have instructions to it. And so you just kind of have to like learn the flow and learn the movement of your child and what they need and when they will need things. And once you get into that rhythm, it feels so effortless. We're about to start talking about positive things, I promise. But the last thing that contributed to my postpartum depression was the fact that I had a history of depression. And so if you have a history of depression, and I didn't know it for a while, but you are more likely to fall into a depressive episode if you have ever in your life fallen into a depressive episode before. And I have had, this is my third in my short lifetime where I have fallen into a deep depressive episode. What really helps depression? For me, doing things just for myself. Now, I heard people say things like this before and I thought, oh, that's so dumb. Like, what do you even mean? We do a lot of stuff for ourselves all the time, but this isn't cooking, this isn't cleaning, this isn't brushing your teeth. This isn't making sure you get enough sleep. Those are not extra things, okay? You need those things to be alive, to be human, to feel okay. I'm talking about doing things to make you feel good, great, things that fill your cup. I'm talking about doing things for yourself that fill a void in your life. And I can't say what that void in your life is, okay? I'm sure we all have these little like sectors in our life where we haven't quite filled our cups, right? But for me, I have found personally that I need to set aside time for creativity.
Imagination.
I have a deep need to express myself. And when my daughter was born, I stopped all forms of creativity. I used to paint all the time. I was decorating my house. I was renovating things. I just stopped doing any of that. And it absolutely crushed me. So, whatever that is for you, maybe like me, you just need to express yourself more. Maybe that's journaling, painting, maybe it's making YouTube videos, or maybe you need a regularly scheduled hot bath, or maybe you need time to fill your social cup. Right? Maybe you just need some lunch dates with your friends. Maybe you want to pursue some sports or a hobby or whatever it is. Okay, look at yourself, look deep inside yourself right now and ask yourself, what is meaningful to me, even when that activity is done and over with? When I'm doing something and I am done with it, what makes me feel good after? Because that's the kind of activities that we need to fill our time with, the kind of activities that we need to prioritize as mothers, as caregivers, because we are giving all the time and we need so much to not only bring our cups up to level, we need to overfill them so that we feel good, not just okay, good, great, happy, okay? Because we're going to have lows. But having higher highs, feeling like really refreshed by these things will help mitigate those low lows. So, whatever that is that gives you joy, power, and fulfillment, whatever it is that you are not making time for right now, that's also the important part. Make time for that thing. I'm just telling you, try it. Okay, I can't even explain how much of a difference it will make, but just do it. Do the thing. This next one, I'm kind of going in order. So, I had the things that hurt, and then I'm kind of going in order with the things that helped. They're in the same order as the things that hurt. This next one is time. So the second thing that we considered that hurt me was the birth trauma. And honestly, no amount of therapy, no amount of talking with my friends and family about what happened to me, no amount of journaling has helped me with that. No amount of thinking, praying, nothing has softened the blow. It has stung so badly. And the only reason that I am able to talk about it somewhat coherently with you right now is because a lot of time has passed. It has been over 2 years. And I still am teary-eyed a little bit because it's hard to talk about. But I'm just going to tell you right now, if you have something that is hurting you in the same way, that it's sharp, give it time. Time may not heal the wound, but it will soften it immensely. This next one is paired with me trying to do too much. Delegation. Delegation is so important, okay? Me and my husband, we did the fair play game thing, the card deck. It has been really helpful because even though my husband does not really have the same set of priorities when it comes to like house cleaning and stuff as I do, just me not having those things on my plate. Okay, so let's say he's doing the dishes. Maybe they're piled up in the sink. It's not technically my problem. So I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not spending mental energy on it. I'm not actually spending those 30 minutes a day doing the dishes, right? It's my husband's baby. It has freed up so much time in my life to delegate things. So like now my husband takes care of the finances. He's in charge of the dishes. He's in charge of the trash. It has changed my life because I just had too much on my plate. It has also, I think, helped me with the financial stress aspect of life because I don't find myself constantly like checking our credit cards, checking the bank account. And the delegation with chores because the finances didn't really take that much time out of my day, just took mental energy. But the chores, I mean, it saved me a few hours a week, him doing those things. And so that has given me time to pursue things that actually fill my cup, like this YouTube channel. This next thing, not having enough help, I would say the answer to that is reaching out for help. And I think that's too basic, so I'm going to get more specific. Reaching out for help from people who have a history of helping. And it may not even just be that they have a history of helping you, but maybe you see them helping other people. As you're like, okay, that's someone who maybe I can reach out to and rely on for assistance. If I go out on a limb and I ask someone, oh, hey, can you watch my kid? And they say yes. Then, okay, I'm logging it away in my head for later. Okay, that person is someone that I can rely on in a pinch, perhaps, to watch my child. They watched your kid before, but now you need help, like you're stuck on the side of the road. That's probably the same type of person who's going to help you with that too, right? Because they have a history of being there for you. So think about the people who have been there for you in your life in the past. Reach out to those people, because I will tell you right now, it gets gosh dang depressing when you reach out for help over and over and over and over again, but you're reaching out for help to the wrong people and they say no over and over and over and over again. Because we are told all the time, reach out for help, accept all the help you can get. But if you're reaching out to the wrong people, it makes your depression worse. So be very judicious with who you seek help from. This next one, it probably depends on your personality type if it will be helpful to you. But for me, letting go. I had to completely let go of the idea that my house will be perfectly tidy. I had to let go of the idea that I would always have energy left at the end of the day. I had to let go of the idea of optimizing every aspect of my life to get more things done. Because with a little one around, things will not be optimal, they will not be efficient, and trying to make them otherwise is like shoving a square peg into a round hole. I think this is one of the most empowering things that I've learned, cultivating a yes, I can attitude. I don't know at what point my thinking changed, but I had been working on it since I noticed this negativity inside of myself. My internal refrain has shifted from, I can't because to how can I? And that shift has been life-changing. It has been so empowering to me because it has taken me from, oh, poor me, I can't do what I want to do because blah, 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 to, yes, I can do what I want. I don't know how to do it yet, but let me think about it. And that has shifted me from sadness to problem solving. And when we're in a problem solving frame of mind, it might take us a while to figure out the path that leads us to the goal. But as long as we are not telling ourselves, I can't do it, then our brain will be working on that in the background. And sometimes, you'll just have like an aha moment, like, oh, here's how I can do that thing that I've been wanting to do forever. I think that it's so important, if you want to do something and you don't know anybody who's done that thing, go online and find someone who's done that thing. Because the people who will tell you that you can't do it because of X, Y, and Z are the people who have never done it. If you are someone who wants to travel solo with your 5 kids because you want to travel but your spouse doesn't want to travel and he doesn't want to take the kids with you or whatever it is, there's someone out there who has done the thing that you want to do and they know how to do it, and they're probably online sharing that knowledge of how you can do it too. So shift your mindset from I can't to I can, and look for people who have done those things, because those are the ones who will be your cheerleaders. Learning to anticipate interruptions. I don't have a good formula for this one. Honestly, for me, like I had said before, it took me about a year to get into the dance with my toddler on her rhythm of the day, waking up, naps, eating windows. If you're just being thoughtful about how to fill those little windows of time that we get as parents to actually get stuff done, you will eventually get into a rhythm. It's like driving a car. When you first drive a car, it's really awkward and it just doesn't feel natural. That's kind of like what parenthood is like. It feels awkward and unnatural until you get into that rhythm, until you get in tuned into it. And then once you're in tuned, it comes more easily. You know, it's smoother. So there might be bumps on the road still, but overall, it is not so difficult. It doesn't take as much brain work. So give it time. Keep working at it. It will happen. It will happen. I'm still learning too, but you know, it's 1,000% smoother than it was 2 years ago. This last one I think has been the most impactful for me personally because I just would get so frustrated all the time, and a lot of it was just, it was on me. So being more open with my spouse. I would get so inside my head being alone with my baby day in and day out. And I was just so tired at the end of every day that I did not want to expend the energy that it took to like open up about my thoughts and my feelings, because it is work, right? It's work to like be like, oh, here's my garbage, let me share it with you. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to zonk out, and that's mostly just what I did. But I think what helped me the most with that is therapy. I cannot recommend therapy enough. I sing its praises to anyone I talk to about depression or mental health issues because it helped me so much. My therapist just she did two things. She'd call me out like, oh, what did your spouse say when you complained to them about that? I was like, oh, I haven't even talked to him about it yet. I guess I should do that, you know. But two, she really just validated my feelings so much that I was like, oh, yeah, these are worth the energy it takes to talk about them. I don't know, there was like a switch in my brain that was like, yeah, this is worth the calorie expenditure. Woo! We got through it, guys. That was a doozy. Did you find any of that helpful, any of it educational? And also, what helps you when you're struggling? Please leave your thoughts, your feelings in the comments below. I love to hear from you guys, and I'm just so appreciative of you watching to the end. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed this, and I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you bunches. Thank you bunches from the bottom of my heart for watching this video and taking this journey with me today. Bye.